against the other LA team?
Yeah, so for me, this is what the big question is. Can Nikola Jokic continue to operate the way that he has in the first two rounds? Because the Lakers are going to present something different in terms of the athleticism, length, and speed of a guy like Anthony Davis and his ability to cover Jokic on some of those closeouts, his ability to guard him in the post with a little bit more athletic ability and size. The Lakers, to me, have been the best defensive team in the bubble when they have ramped it up and when they've needed to. So the Nuggets are going to face something a little bit different with this team. And we'll see if they can continue to operate the way that they have. I'm not going to doubt them. They've made a believer out of me. Why would you doubt guys like Murray and Jokic and the rest of that supporting cast? But there's no doubt this is going to be their toughest test because of the defensive pressure, length, and then the force and speed that you're going to get on the other end with LeBron and Anthony Davis. This is a juggernaut, no question. We expected the Lakers to be here, maybe not so much the Nuggets, but now Denver's here, and they got to make believers out of us again here in the first couple games in this series. Let's see how Jokic and Murray operate. That's the key indicator for me. Is the defense going to slow them down finally, or they can continue to be in a place of comfort? Because if they are, this is going to be another long series.
Yeah, they're showing us. We believe now. Our projections have the Lakers with a 73% chance to advance to the NBA Finals. But again, we cannot measure heart, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Thank you so much, Tim. A reminder, the Eastern Conference Finals continue tomorrow night on ESPN. We got Jimmy Butler and the Heat trying to take a 2-0 series lead over the Celtics. Our coverage tips off with NBA Countdown at 6 Eastern, followed by the Heat and Celtics tomorrow.
For championship favorites.
This Clippers team, I'm telling you right now, will win a championship.
They signed Kawhi Leonard. They traded for Paul George.
Wow!
And they outmaneuvered everyone to do so, especially their city rival, the Los Angeles Lakers.
They've been built to beat the Lakers.
Then they did it again at the trade deadline with Marcus Morris.
One of the reasons why the Clippers want to get Marcus Morris is so the Lakers cannot have them.
And on the buyout market with Reggie Jackson. At every turn this year, the Clippers were one step ahead until the end, when it mattered most.
What a devastating loss for a team that's one goal was to win the title. This is a collapse they'll think about all summer.
The years of planning, of acquiring assets, of rebuilding their brand so a superstar like Leonard would choose them, all of it was so the Clippers could finally contend for a title. But after this loss, all of it was for naught.
Every team's going through something, and some teams deal with it better than others. And in my opinion, we haven't done a great job of it.
But in the end, this Clippers team will go down like so many others. So much potential, never realized. The Clippers' streak of never making it to the conference finals continues. Now, all the pressure's on next season, which could be Paul George and Kawhi's last season with the Clippers.
And with that, we welcome back Legs here to SportsCenter. Heartbreaker for LA, Legs, but we cannot discount what this Denver team has been doing. And they were able to overcome that 3-1 deficit. How do you get your head around what they were able to accomplish?
Well, shame on all of us for not seeing this team being able to hang in there against Clippers team. I don't know who was going to pick them to win, but based on what they did a year ago, and it's a progression in this league, and they went to a Game 7 in this round a year ago and almost beat the Portland Trailblazers, being in the same spot they're in right now. So we should have known like what they would feel in terms of confidence after a year ago. And the one thing that is hard to understand is how they were able to find the intestinal fortitude to come back twice from down 3-1, particularly when they've been gone for 2 months. And at some point, does the bubble effect kick in when you feel like, you're an insurmountable hole and it's time to go home? They never accepted that. This was a team that believed that they had great chemistry, great coaching, and they really believed in their two best players to get them through this against any level defense. And so I think shame on all of us for really slighting this team a little bit, because they have shown me now that this is a team you have to take seriously, and that will include the Los Angeles Lakers in the next round.
And that Game 1, Nuggets-Lakers, is on Friday. We're not even questioning that play saved the day for Miami and earned him mad props across the basketball world. Magic Johnson tweeting that it was the best defensive play he's seen in the playoffs. Now, speaking of clutch, the Heat were a +5 in clutch time to take Game 1. A big reason why? Boston's inability to sink a three. The Celtics went 0 for 6, the most three-point attempts without a single make in clutch time of a playoff game since the Warriors were 0 for 7 in Game 7 of the 2016 Finals.
Michael Thomas had an NFL record 149 catches last season, but he had only 3 on Sunday and likely won't have any this week. The Saints don't expect Thomas to be able to go Monday night against the Raiders because of a high ankle sprain suffered in the Bucs game. Thomas has only missed 1 game to injury in his career as a rookie back in 2016. No Big Ten decision yet on football, but sources tell ESPN it could happen today. Yesterday, University of Wisconsin Chancellor Rebecca Blank said the season remains on hold until they get answers on testing and potential long-term heart issues related to COVID. Big Ten leaders are reconsidering a fall season after postponing August 11th. Heather Dinich now with more.
It now seems to be a matter of when, not if, Big Ten football is coming back. An announcement could be expected on Wednesday. Sources have said that the most likely scenario the 14 presidents and chancellors have considered is an October 17th start date with 8 games and a conference championship game on December 19th. That would allow the Big Ten to sneak back into the college football conversation because Selection Day this year is on December 20th. In order for it to actually happen, though, 9 of those 14 presidents and chancellors will have to vote in favor of a return.
Meanwhile, the NCAA Division I Council is set to meet today with expectations of hashing out guidelines for the upcoming men's and women's college basketball seasons. Among the items expected to be discussed include the season start date currently set for November 10 and possible changes to the number of games teams need to play to qualify for the tournament. With bubbles all the rage in the NBA and NHL, Major League Baseball went public with its plans. All games from the Division Series through the World Series will be held in bubble environments in California and Texas to limit exposure to the coronavirus. The World Series is set to begin October 20 at the Rangers' new ballpark in Arlington, Texas.
In hockey, the Islanders on the brink of elimination win Game 5 last night in double overtime to stay alive against the Lightning. Jordan Eberle, the game winner, 12.5 minutes into the second OT. It's his second game winner of this postseason. Tampa Bay still leads the series 3-2. Game 6 tomorrow night.
The city of Louisville, Kentucky agreed to pay the family of Breonna Taylor a $12 million settlement after police shot her to death in her apartment during a late-night raid in March. The 26-year-old EMT's fatal shooting has caused an outcry among social justice advocates, including many pro athletes. The Seattle Storm's Breanna Stewart and Heat coach Eric Spoelstra voiced their opinions.
My initial reactions are, obviously it's a step in the right direction. I think that a settlement is not justice. Money is not getting justice for Breonna Taylor or her family. And those officers still need to be arrested. I think that the spotlight has kind of been on Louisville and Attorney General Daniel Cameron, and I hope that he continues to do what needs to be done.
We just found out about it before the game. $12 million is not going to bring back Breonna Taylor into this world. You can throw any kind of truckload of money. I think what everybody wants to see is justice, and those police officers held accountable, and that's what is so outraging to everybody, right now. So that's disappointing. That they think it's about money and that it can be settled from there.
The Office of Kentucky's Attorney General continues to investigate the Louisville officers' conduct, but no timetable has been given on a decision about the charges. Taylor's death is also being investigated by the FBI.
She was killed over 6 months ago. Still no arrests. WNBA players have had Breonna Taylor's name on the backs of their jerseys all season to raise awareness. Those are your half-hour headlines. In the NBA, the Eastern Conference Finals started last night. Game 1 didn't disappoint. Here's Mark Schwartz.
Jason Tatum was going full freight train. There was only one thing that could stop Boston's 22-year-old wonder kid from tying this game. A 23-year-old dunk denier named Bam Adebayo.
Bam says, get it out of here. Adebayo, sky high with the block and rejection.
That could be a poster dunk, and a lot of people aren't willing to make that play and put themselves out there. He just made a big-time save for us.
He made a great play. That's all it is. He made a good play. Can't do nothing about it.
Tatum had an angle, but Adebayo had a hammer.
Bam Adebayo went airborne with Jason Tatum, and Adebayo won.
Magic Johnson called Bam's block the best defensive play he'd ever seen in the playoffs.
Magic, y'all hear that? Magic touch.
You know, you get on that big stage, you just gotta make big plays, and I made a big play. You know, coming from Magic, that's a great comment from him.
Coming from him, a player of his caliber, he knows. He's been there, he's won it. And that's what it takes to win championships. Defense like that, it sealed the game for us. I would agree with him. I really would.
Adebayo recalled that he entered the league as an energy guy. Now, he's an all-star and an all-NBA defender, which may be why the block that moved Magic also blew away Bam, who called it his favorite play ever. Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
All right, so Magic